Hey, guys, this is the thing here. That's the way to start a video. Hey guys, this is the thing here. Anyways, one thing that bothers me in our society is this thing. Alright, so I do a lot of, a lot, as much as I can do. I do a lot of mountain biking, alright? I ride enduro, which consists of a lot of downhill, technical descents, and sometimes very, very steep sections. And so that's what enduro really is. That's the style of riding, Anyway, so why I like doing it is, of course, it's a challenge, that I like. It's somewhat, adrenaline thing in it, I guess, that sort of attracts it. But it's more, I'm not totally an adrenaline junkie. It's more like me being able to handle this tool, a bicycle, this vehicle, to basically handle it with such perfection, with my body being so in tune with the vehicle itself, that I can do all sorts of different things and tweak, my motion, and shift weight left, right, back, front, up, and down whenever necessary. Which in that kind of riding is basically a momentary set of changes that just comes up all the time. So you have to be very, very quick, and you can't think much. It has to be something. There's things that can be taught, and then there's the underlying feeling, sense of having that in you is something that nobody can teach you. All right, that's what it comes down to. Nobody can teach you that. Like, I drive a car, or I drive cars like somebody that was professionally trained on a track, on a rally course. I can drive cars that way, and I a lot of times do, not so much do anymore, but did for different reasons. I won't go into it. But anyways, something has to do with the police in Seattle. But anyways, so, all right, going back to enduro, I like it also much more than the road bicycle that I that's my background. My background is racing with a road bicycle. That was back in Europe for quite a few years. I had a career as a road cyclist. I used to race. I was a competitive road cyclist for about 8 years in Europe, in Eastern Europe, Austria, Italy, Croatia, Slovenia, and so on and so on. Anyways, to get to the point is, I like mountain bike more, right? Not because it's more manly. I don't believe in those things. I think it's stupid. They like road cycling is more, less manly. It's kind of dumb. I don't know how people see those things. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I like it more because I get more peace. All right. I ride up steep mountains all the way to the summits, in trails completely covered by forest, and basically I'm in there a lot of the times completely by myself, especially since I'm a freelancer, which allows me to go ride during weekdays, before people even get out of their work, and I love it. I hate going on the weekends when everybody comes out and everybody's riding the same trails. I hate that. I don't want to deal with people much. I already live in the city, and I'm not such a fan of humans in general, for many, many reasons I could go into. And I'm sure that a lot of you are not either, for your reasons. But so I like to go into the nature. I like to detach from all this nonsense, from all this noise, from all this craziness and crap and these primitive, ways of humans in general. So I like to be there by myself. Sometimes I'm by myself. I'm serious. By myself, miles around, there's nobody in the woods. Nobody. Me. Completely on my own. Now, if something happens, it's a scary thought. So, I gotta be cautious. I have that at the back of my head as well. But other than that, man, there's nothing nicer, nothing better than going up in the forest, up to mountains, and being completely by yourself. Not complete, but more natural sounds, or I would say more quiet time with myself. I love it. Just to listen to birds, listen to the sounds in nature, whether that be wind in the trees, streams, rivers crossing the path or trails, or coming down some steep sections. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Amazing. Or listen to little chirping, of the insects in the ground. So, that being said, I noticed one extremely disturbing factor in our society, and that is, this is where I led you to this from the very beginning of this video. I hate the fact that people can no longer go anywhere without bringing their crap from the cities, their crap from their lives into nature. With that being said, again, I'm getting to the point. What I mean is, you will see bikers, you will see hikers out, and sometimes I, meet them, catch up to them, or, and they have headphones in. Headphones in nature, guys. Headphones. Which means they're not even there. They are not in nature. They're not enjoying the nature. They're not enjoying that quiet time, that peace, that very much needed reset within yourself. No. Why the hell would you do that, right? Let's just plug in some crap to be banging in my ears so I don't have to hear anything around me, which also makes it super dangerous, especially riding enduro. Sometimes we're talking about speed, we're talking about, we're talking about like dangerous situations. If you catch up with somebody and they're not aware of you coming from behind them, then they're in shock, when you pass them, or sometimes hikers. And then you get to the very summit of certain mountains, and guess what happened to me last time? I'm riding, and I meet this couple with a dog. They're hikers, they're hiking up the trail. And, of course, lo and behold, they have a phone out, and the guy's playing some stupid music. Not just music. Any kind of music is completely, utterly unnecessary for you to bring into the woods. Don't bring music. Fuck that. For real. Like, if you cannot go out and enjoy quiet time and peace and being with your surroundings, being aware of where you are, being in the freaking moment, no, you gotta bring your crap that you listen to in your fucking living room, that you listen in your fucking kitchen, your car, all this shit. And that's what pisses me off. You know why? Because first of all, it degrades people's awareness and people's consciousness severely. And it also, in many cases, like in this one here, it spoils the peace for me. I come from the city, away from all this shit, and then I get into the fucking trail in the forest, completely by myself, and then for some time, when I'm riding, I have to listen to this dumbass with a fucking phone. You know how shrill the sound from a phone is? And they're going up the trail, and the trail is very steep, so it's going to take me a little while to get up to the top, and all the way until the top, I hear this in the background, and it was some kind of rap, and it doesn't even matter what kind of music it is. It was some cheap, crappy rap. Okay, just as an example, it doesn't matter, even if it was Bach, okay, or Mozart or whatever. I don't care. Leave that shit behind, man. Go out, enjoy nature, be in the moment. Not with all these distractions. You can see that everywhere. Everywhere. You know, and then I get to the top, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna relax, and they caught up with me after some time because I was sitting up there enjoying the sun, and these idiots come, of course, with the fucking music, and they don't turn it off. See, they don't turn it off. They have no consideration and no respect for anybody else. So they're just standing there, standing around, and started sitting down with their dog playing that crap. And I'm out there trying to relax. So I actually had to get away so that I wouldn't be, passively aggressive, or that I wouldn't actually become aggressive, because I was about to become aggressive and let them know, speak my mind to them about that bullshit. Because I just don't have no tolerance for it. Because listen, like, leave people in peace and take your shit somewhere else if that's what you need. If this is what you need and this is what is good for you think that's amazing stuff, and you love to walk around with listening to this fucking music all day long, hey, good for you. Just keep it to yourself. That's the whole point. So when people say, oh, you're so aggressive and violent, like, fuck yeah, I am. Have you ever seen a bear or a fucking animal, a wild animal that you come and disturb from them dwelling somewhere in peace and minding their own business? You bring your shit to them, and you think they're gonna just stand up and they're gonna just, put up with you? No, they're gonna show you that you bother them, that you're a nuisance. Because that's what you humans are. That's the problem. This is what you have become. You have become nuisance everywhere you go. Anything you do, it's just like, I don't understand it, really. I mean, I do understand it. I just don't want to understand it. You see, because there's nothing to fucking understand. You need to fucking look within yourself and see what you're doing with yourself in your life. And that's the whole fucking issue here. You're not doing shit. You're distracting yourself. And that's why our consciousness is so fucking low at a fucking rock bottom. And that's why some guys can come up and say, hey, there's a virus and blah 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 blah, and everybody's gonna die, and you all shit your pants. That's why. And you deserve it. You totally deserve it. Those of you who are like that, you totally deserve it. You're insects. You're insects to people with much more consciousness, with much, more expanded awareness. And you think, for a moment, you may think that some of these elite, some of these rich, wealthy people are not spiritual. To me, that's a fucking insane idea. That you believe that for some reason, they're primitive, they're assholes. Guess what? They know secrets of the spiritual life so much better than you do. So much better. And that's why they have what they have. That is exactly why they have so much more. And it's not everybody who has more than you that is more spiritual. No, not at all. We're talking about circles that definitely and 100% influence and dictate life on Earth for like 85 or 80% of you, every single moment of it. And you are not even aware of it, and they are. They know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly how things work. They know human psychology so good that you have absolutely no idea what they're doing to you. They're geniuses, honestly. So you got to think about that stuff, and why you are so far behind them is because you don't, You have everything given to you. You have all these things, all these opportunities, all these tools, all these devices, but you're using them against yourself. You see? And I'm not talking about technological devices. I'm talking about opportunities around you. I'm talking about, the air, quiet time, the nature. You have all these environments for yourself to sharpen your senses. What you do, you numb them. You're trying to numb all your senses. And so then when somebody's above you, you just say, they're assholes. I can't stand them. They should be destroyed. Where in fact, you are the problem. You. That very you. See? And then you say, you have hatred for humanity. Like, that's not humanity. I don't even consider you human. Like, honestly, I don't consider most of you humans. I will address you as humans because I'm hoping that I will, maybe wake you up one day. Maybe. But you're not humans yet. You're just some creatures that have these potential somewhere locked and encoded deep within. But you're so far away from it. So far away. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing here. You really don't. You're just a consumer. You're like an insect. You're just a parasite. Drinking blood. That's what you're doing. Most of you. Most of you are completely clueless, useless. Just because you do some physical work and I don't know, you go to your office and you put some equations together and stuff like that. That's nothing. That's nothing. Even if you're building stuff, it's still nothing, really. We're not talking about building, physical empires, material wealth. Nothing to do with that, all right? You have such intelligence and such field of consciousness at your disposal, and you're using, I don't even know. I mean, like, you're not even using 10%. 10% is way too high for most of you. You're not even at, you're probably at 2 to 3%. So when people like myself come up here and tell you this kind of stuff, most people are just extremely annoyed. Most people are just extremely, I'm so humiliated by this idiot. Now I hate him. It's like, who's trying to insult me? Oh, such a terrible guy. That's how things go, Oh, he just thinks he's so much better than us. No, I don't think that. Either you are or you're not. That's how things go. I could have done a lot of terrible stuff to you guys. A lot. With everything I know, with everything I understand, I could have done so much horrible stuff to you. I could have been on top of certain positions of power within our society, and you would have been helpless against somebody like myself, honestly. The reason I don't do these things is because I understand them. That's the whole point. I understand them. So I let other members do that. Because I don't need to do that because it's already being done. So why would I go and fight my whole life to get to a certain position? It's already being done. I mean, you're already in it. So it's really no benefit to me. I wouldn't gain anything if I, fought to get to that position and then achieve that. I wouldn't achieve anything with it. I would have just copied certain people that are there and that are doing what needs to be done and what you deserve to experience. That's it. So yes, it's a small thing. We came from music, distractions, to all these stuff because it ties into it. That's why. Because by looking and observing these small things, details of your lives, it paints the picture of what you really are I mean, what you really are, what you really have become, what you have allowed yourself to become, you know, what you, I don't know, what you think is good enough, I guess. Because you're certainly not striving for anything more. You are basically just hoping that they're going to produce more stuff that you can consume and buy, and distract yourself even further and even more. Like, you don't care about understanding things. You don't care about actually participating in this society. No. You just you're satisfied with this slave ship, and you working yourself to death just so you can consume these mindless things, and be a part of it. I mean, look, listen, don't get me wrong, I love music, okay? I think life without music would be in many ways boring. Now, do I like all music? Nah, not exactly. Do I like only one kind of music? No, not at all. I like a variety of different styles, different genres, different, groups, bands, individuals, singers, whatever, songwriters. But the thing is, I don't bother other people with it. If I like something, it is for me to like. Alright? Why does my neighbor have to hear my music? Why does my neighbor have to enjoy something I enjoy? Why somebody in nature who comes and invests their time and energy to get up to the summit of a mountain has to put up with my shit? Because I just feel like, I'm free, so I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want, as long as I don't bother, somebody else with it. That's the problem here that people don't understand. Everybody's so much into their rights, even right now, about this whole situation, this repression, this, dictatorship, this regime, about the disease control and blah, 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 Most people don't wonder, hey, wait a second, you are so hell-bent on, all your rights. I got a right to do this, I'm free, to do that, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. But what do you actually know about your responsibilities, your duties? Most of you are not even interested in understanding them, let alone fulfilling them. You don't care about it, because that's not on your menu, right? To you, that does not matter. To you, all it matters is that you can enjoy yourself regardless of who has to pay for it, or who else around you is involved in your enjoyment, whether they like it or not. So, and that's the selfishness. That's an incredible amount of selfishness in this society. And this is what's gonna take this society down. This is the downfall of this civilization. And will go down. It's going down. If you think we're going back, everything's gonna fix itself, no, nothing is fixed itself. Nothing has ever fixed itself. Alright? Because life does not work like that. It doesn't fix itself. Or maybe actually it does. However, it is not the fixing you want. And you will see, once life corrects itself and fixes itself, then you will understand what I mean. Because it's not going to be pleasant. Because this is like, if you wanna clean up your room, and you do it by yourself willingly, you don't experience any much suffering, pain, I don't know, discord. However, if your mom has to tell you to do it, let's say you live with your mom and you're a child or a teenager, if your mom tells you or your dad tells you, hey, you need to clean up your room because you've not been doing it for a long time, and now this is it. This is an ultimatum. You need to clean it up, or certain things will happen. Certain privileges will be cut. I mean, it's not a pleasant experience, right? Because now you have an ultimatum, and now when you're doing it, you're not really doing it because you wanted to do it. Now you hate it. Now you hate doing it, but you still, regardless, you have to do it, or you lose certain privileges. This is how life works. So you're losing privileges more and more and more. Every single day you're losing more privileges because, and you know what's going to happen in the end? You're going to lose your home. Your home is being repossessed. And I'm not talking about your house. I'm not talking about your apartments. I'm talking about earth. You're losing your home. You have no idea. You don't see what's happening. You really don't see it. You're losing it. I said it years ago that this society will become homeless in their own home. Watch it happen. Watch it happen because you're not invested enough to understand who else is here. That's your problem. You think you're here by yourself. And you do as you please. Whatever you want to do, that's how things go. And I'm not talking about the elite. The elite just answers to much higher order. You'll see. You will start understanding because for some time now, things are coming out. And when they do come out, it's going to be revealed that you're not by yourself. And you'll get to understand who will repossess your home. Because you proved to be unfit to own or rent this home. Because believe it or not, it's not yours. It's yours in a sense of like the absolute consciousness, the absolute, electromagnetic field, being the all prevailing creator, which you are a part of, and then at the end of all, you are also that. You will see. You're up for a rude awakening. Those of you who don't understand what's going on and who you share this place with, man, I gotta laugh sometimes because you're so foolish, and that's why you're not paying attention, and that's why, you think that things will just fix themselves. You will just consume, not think, not invest your energy and your time into understanding. No, you will simply just keep going the way you are going, or you were going, same old ways, and by some miracle, everything is just gonna fall into place. That's ridiculous. Guys, please spend time with yourselves. Spend time. Listen, respect, appreciate quiet time, okay? Because that's privilege. Peace is luxury. In our society, peace is luxury. Quiet time is luxury. Take it. Take the opportunity, okay? Take the opportunity to enjoy that and invest into it. No wonder why people who get extremely wealthy, they run away, they buy an island. And you will say, well, because they're doing shady stuff, so of course they need to be by themselves so nobody can control them and see what they're doing. All right, yeah, in some cases. In other cases, in many of those cases, that's not even true. They're moving away because they can't stand you. That's why. Because they want to be by themselves in peace. I don't blame them. I would do that too. So I finally get away from you. Which is a part of me that I don't like. That's the other side of the truth. It's a part of me that I do not like because that part of me is ignorant, that part of me is arrogant, that part of me is extremely selfish or self-centered. That does not care about anything that it created, does not actually care about itself because it doesn't recognize itself, because it's in the dark. So no matter how much I try to enlighten you, the ways of speaking to you, the ways of, trying to remind you are not sufficient anymore because the time had been cut. There's no more time. For those of you who think like, oh, we still have plenty of time, things are changing, no, it's over. It's over. You're mistaken. It's over. It's done. No more time. We have passed a certain threshold in our society, and from then on, time stopped. So you are in the actual plan. It's not even a plan. It's the motion. You're in the actual motion of self-destruction. And you don't even know it. Most of you have absolutely no idea that that's what you're doing. You have entered this motion of self-destruction, and that's it. See? enjoy peace. You won't have it for much longer. The privileges that you have right now, that you still have, even though they're disappearing, like leaves in the fall. They're falling off the trees, blown away by the wind. By the wind! By the wind! They're being blown away, one by one. So, as long as you still have some of those privileges, I advise you, I recommend you, I suggest to you, use them wisely. And get away from distractions, alright? They're not going to serve you. They're not serving you well. It's just a test. Are you going to fall for it and you're going to consume it, or you won't? Or you'll be strong enough to say, hey, you know what? I like this stuff, but it's unnecessary. I don't need it. I can divide some attention, or I can pay attention to these things maybe like, a few minutes or maybe an hour or two a day by myself, so I don't bother other people with it, okay? And that's it. The rest of the time, you should be focused on being in touch with everything around you. And you can't be in touch with everything around you if you're so indulged and engaged into something that is taking you away from this moment. Man, I'm long today. I'm very long, but it needed to be said. And if only one of you will recognize and realize the truth in this and the urgency, and will do something about it in their lifetime, in their life, in their daily life, daily routine. Because remember, these distractions are like drugs. They are drugs. They're taking you away from your point, from your being, not your mind. Forget about that mind. Mind is such an overrated thing. They're taking you away from your being. Because you being in this moment, you being here, now, present, you tune in to all your senses. And your senses are not only the 5 senses, and not only the 6 senses. You have more than that. But you won't know until you actually sharpen one by one each one of them. And then when they come together as a unity, as a completeness, complete, total, picture, big picture, then you get to see something that you are not seeing right now. That's why that's important. And you won't bother others with your nonsense. And you won't drag your shit from here everywhere else. Because it's like these distractions, these drugs are like disease. You know how when a drug dealer comes into a neighborhood that didn't have drugs before, gives it to one person. And then this one person has a friend and says, hey, I tried this. It's fucking amazing. I'm going fucking crazy. You have these visions and stuff. You got to try this shit. Boom, they get this other person trying this stuff.